Delighted to have with me Kelly Clark. Kelly, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to take you right back to where it all started, Inchcape Strollers. Just talk us through that.
No, I was 6 or 7 years old, and anytime I speak about my career to anybody on any platform where you started, I'm a total outlier, because girls my age, all of them played with boys. When they were that age. None of them had the opportunity, the great fortune to go straight into a girls team. There just wasn't very many, young girls teams at the time. And like I say, I'm one of very, very, very few people that says I went straight to girls football. I did train with the boys. I trained with the boys through school and stuff like that. But so fortunate that there was a girls team in Arbroath at the time. Inchcape Strollers. A lot of the girls were a lot older than me when I first went in, but I've got brilliant memories of playing with Arbroath Inchcape Strollers. We started off, I think, as just one team, and by the time I left, we'd been really successful. We'd had under 13s, under 15s, and there are some top players that went through Arbroath Inchcape Strollers. I obviously played for them. Abby Grant played for them, who's gone on to have a professional career, been over in Belgium and stuff, and just a really, really
super
fortunate position to be in. We got to the Scottish Cup final with under 13s. We went through to Stirling Albion, and we played against Hibs, who hammered us. But when you look at that Hibs team, Carling Weir was playing in that game, who now is at Real Madrid.
Amazing.
So it's I speak about it so highly because I just, like I say, I'm a total outlier at 7 years old. Playing with a girls team back then was just so uncommon, and we were so fortunate. We always had it. It was amazing.
Yeah. Then obviously you went up the road to Forfar Farmington.
Yeah, just a pretty natural move, to be honest. We didn't have a women's team here, which we obviously do now, and I love it. Back then we didn't, and I was too old for under 15s, I think it was at the time, so I had to move up to under 17s. We didn't have an under 17 squad, and so Forfar was obviously just along the road. They had a really good setup, starting similar to ourselves, starting really, really young, going all the way up to, they had a couple of women's teams at the time, one being in the top division in Scottish women's football. So went through there, and the original plan was that I would play for the under 17s team but get to train with the first team. But Gemma Collier, who's physio Montrose now, she really unfortunately did her ACL playing with Scotland under 19s over in Holland. I think she did it, and I was kind of pretty quickly pushed into the first team. So made my debut in the league at 15.
Brilliant.
Really grateful to Forfar and the coaches that I had through there, and the teammates. They were brilliant with me. They really helped me develop, and like I said, was thrown in pretty early, and being thrown in so young, obviously you've got to get big and get strong really quickly, and it helped me massively.
Brilliant. And then you got your move to Celtic.
Yeah, then the opportunity came. By that point I'd gone down to Stirling for university. In the first 6 months I was travelling up to Forfar, but it was a lot. Women's football back then compared to now was different, and we were training 8 till 10 at night. So I was finishing training in Kirriemuir at 10 o'clock at night on a Thursday night and having to get back down to Stirling, and then I would have training on a Friday morning at 7 AM. So it was difficult, but it was also really difficult leaving Forfar. They've been brilliant for me. I was, got on really well with the team, and I broke my heart in the meeting when I told them that I was leaving. It was really difficult. Me and my dad went through and met with Martin Nisbet at the time, and I was really upset. But Celtic had come calling, and the pool of the big club, even though at the time women's football wasn't a big thing, the pool of the big club kind of drew me in, and been there since.
Brilliant. And obviously you now are captain of Celtic, which is fantastic.
Yeah, a massive honour.
Yeah, and just for the viewers, what is the state of the game currently in Scotland? Since your time, since you've started?
I think even 4 or 5 years ago, the state was still not great. A couple of us announced in 2019, Celtic and Rangers announced obviously going professional, which was a big first step. But I think just women's football in general all over the world has really benefited from like the Euros, more recently the World Cup. Obviously the Lionesses were in the Euros, as much as it pains me being Scottish to talk about it. The impact that it's had on women's football in the United Kingdom is pretty crazy, and I think, you know, obviously we want to keep growing because there's still massive opportunity for us to grow. But even 4 or 5 years ago, I'd have struggled to believe if you told me that today we'd be where we are, you know, getting recognised in the street, getting recognised in Celtic Park, playing at Celtic Park in front of 16,000 people. I still can't believe it. I just think that the last couple of years has been unbelievable, and you know, I think it can keep going in that direction. There's more and more buying. Then
I had done a wee bit of research this morning. The league table, 9 league games to go. Rangers, Celtic, Glasgow City. What a week!
Yeah, I think actually it's the most competitive top 6 in Europe.
Wow. So
last season it went down to the last 90 seconds of the league campaign when Glasgow City just pipped us to the league. You know, with 9 games to go, we're in a pretty similar position. The split makes it really, really exciting because you play everybody in the top 6 twice, and everybody can take points off of anybody.
Amazing.
So it's a really exciting running.
Yeah, and obviously on the television tomorrow it's the Sky Sports League Cup final between Rangers and Partick, and the Partick Thistle manager is Brian Graham, who's going to be playing today.
Yeah, I hope it's a howler today.
Well, we are hoping. The Scottish Cup, fantastic. It's in the quarter-final stage. The draw is Celtic against Rangers and Hearts against Spartans, and you have lifted the Scottish Cup twice in the last 2 years.
Yep, last year at Hampden.
What an honour.
The year before at Tynecastle, so I think it's an amazing cup with a lot of history in the men's side, and the women's history is beginning to make itself. So the fact that I've had the opportunity to lift it twice is amazing, and obviously we'll do our best to do it again. But the occasion of playing at Hampden and in front of a crowd, and trying to defend the trophy that sits in our boardrooms.
I know, it's fantastic. We're finishing second in league. You've actually played Champions League as well. That's a cool thing to say, eh?
Yeah, it's amazing. My dad came over for the second game in Norway earlier on. It's a bit of a different format to the men. So to qualify, you get drawn into a group of 4, but it's like 2 semi-finals at the final. And he was coming over for the second game. So we didn't win the first game. The second game kind of means nothing. You play it, but it's more for coefficient rather than anything else. So the first game we played against Brøndby, are a massive team. They've played in the quarterfinals of the Women's Champions League before, Danish team, and we won 1-0 and I scored the goal, which meant that the game that my dad came over for actually meant something.
Brilliant.
And he got to hear the Champions League theme tune, the women's one, which is a bit different to the men's, but the Women's Champions League theme tune playing in a game, and it went to penalties. I took the first penalty.
You scored?
I scored, yeah. Good. But I looked over at my dad and I don't think he could quite watch. And when I looked back, the camera zoomed in on me and everybody asked what I was laughing at. And I was laughing just because I knew that my dad would have been dreading that moment, but I did the job.
And international honours, 5 caps, looking to add to that?
Of course, what an honour, the biggest honour. Representing Scotland, the probably the biggest passion that you have, singing that national anthem and singing it with your family in the crowd and stuff. You know, we were really unfortunate to qualify for the World Cup last year. We were disappointed in that. But yeah, that's a feeling like no other pulling on that jersey. It's just something different that's pretty hard to put into words.
And what does the future hold for Kelly Clark?
I would continue playing for Celtic. It's probably an obsession now. I'm really proud of the part that I've played in the women's side of the club, getting to where it's got to. And you know, even after my playing career ends, I want to keep pushing the club. I think I've got a good enough relationship with them. There's loyalty on both sides. And yeah, we'll see where we can get to with women's football in the country.
Brilliant. Kelly, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.